wearing a bum said she can show off your tattoo. Even if you're a Max True player, she ain't giving up the ass even if a nigga pay her. You say you're not a money hungry, hoping if so, come and get this cash flow, we keep it on the low. Ride, fuck, ride, nigga, ride, fuck, ride, bitch, ride, fuck, ride, nigga, ride, fuck, ride, bitch. Word, the nigga with game is too swift, nigga bitches running with it through bitches like him and Smith. So let the nigga slide up, stick dick in your throat and leave your mouthpiece wide up. Thinking money's outcome till another than never hold my flood of guns since day one. I made choice witches, crab ass gold nigga bitches don't see none of my riches. Some of these niggas be sex and hoes and buying them X and O's and expensive clothes when a nigga like myself can sweep her. You can break off but you still can't keep her. Cause in the sack I hit her from the back, splitting two, nigga after the fuck screw is nothing left to do. But send it back to you with a push been up while you rob a scuff 2 times keep the winner. Niggas in the house, niggas in the house, niggas in the house. Let me hear say sex them hoes, sex them hoes, say freak them hoes, freak them hoes, say eat them hoes, eat them hoes, say fuck them hoes, fuck them hoes, say freak them hoes, freak them hoes, say eat them hoes, eat them hoes. Put your hands up, pat your ass down low, now drop that pussy to the floor. Your pussy, scar, your titties, scar, scar, the pussy, scar, scar, them titties, girl. Them titties, girl, scar. Them titties, girl, scar. That pussy, girl, scar, pussy, scar. You got what's going on.
You better put a boy play with the fuck. Bad folks to get out this cute ass up. You ain't game by the phone. You trust them, but they doing mad. Like you mad 'cause you fuck them. Docking trick now. 'Cause I'm that shit now. Round round saying you my bitch now. We just fucking up most of them out of hoe. I know the dick good, but bitch let it go. Steady horn, not knowing no better. Fingers up the ass, not a cock in with a steak mouth dog. That bitch you. Quit to let a dope boy hit you. Hey ho, really know what's going on. Fuck, can you see me do too long? You dropped out of school when you did that. Rather run around in a nigga like, oh, course, and they about that. 'Cause all the shit up boys I got that. A straight young man out the stub. Need to jump your ass in the tub, oh, barefoot, break the ball head, bitch. Thinking like a stop and suck dick. Got a baby, but you don't know the daddy. All you know is that the nigga drive the caddy. It don't matter 'cause the nigga said that he is. So you put it on the nigga with the vert beans. No, never had dick, mama is a bitch. Never was, ain't never gonna be shit.
Santa Claus coming, Santa Claus coming, Santa Claus coming, Santa Claus coming, Captain Dick coming, Captain Dick coming, birds coming, birds coming, Captain Dick coming, drinks coming, Captain Dick coming, drinks coming. Stop, pop that pussy, let me see your doo-doo brand.
Come on, there you go. There you go. Well, hello everyone. How y'all doing? Okay.
I was doing my. Oh well, you know we gotta get started with this show.
This is the last show for Black Music Month, and then we're going on a hiatus next month. But I was just reminiscing because I'll tell you the whole Orlando story. But I was in Orlando this past weekend celebrating the 25th anniversary of my fraternita. And since I am one of the founders of said chapter of fraternita, therefore it is also my 25th anniversary. So I was just going back and remembering all of the things that I listened to.
You were listening to, remembering all the things of the things of the things.
The things. Well, I didn't really do a whole lot. I swear to you, I didn't have sex between the ages of 16 and 26, and that is no lie. That is not an exaggeration at all. So the entire time I was in Tallahassee, the only person that touched my penis was me. Now, when I left Tallahassee, came back to D.C., I made up for lost time fast.
Okay.
So, but yeah, so I was remembering that. So, you're going to give your house list. I'm going to give you my ratchet list.
Oh, okay.
So, not for this moment, but anyway, hello everyone. Welcome to the BGK8 show with Dominion
and Epic.
This is episode 62. 62. And we got a lot to talk about. This has been like an interesting and eventful week. You know, we got Pose coming up. Let me see, because, you know, I don't ever read the story. I like to be surprised by what we're going to talk about.
This has been a lot of stuff.
Sabrina, I don't know nothing about that. Billy Porter, we're going to Love, Death, and Oh, they got a second season?
Listen.
Yes.
Did you We're telling them.
What is Orange is the New Black. Okay. I was just giving them a teaser.
Stay with the people here.
I was giving them a teaser. I was giving them a teaser. Oh my God. Okay. All right. So we got a lot to talk about. So how was your week?
So my week was really good. This past weekend, while I did not make it up to Folsom, one of my we call ourselves MOBs. He is my oldest Betty.
Oh, okay.
From
way back
3rd grade.
Oh,
Mrs. King's at St. Raymond's in Philadelphia.
Ooh, that's way back.
Right. And so anyway, he came into town, but it's really funny because we don't get the chance to see each other that often, but we just connect on so many different levels, and we just always have a good time. And so what's interesting this time is he brought his nephew and one of his colleagues with him they're in the same age bracket. So here we are, the two old bitches.
Yes.
Standing over and hanging out with the children. So
by children you mean they're in their 20s?
Yes, they're in their 20s. And so we were like sitting back like the entire time. Like Dana has his glasses. He has 2 pair of glasses. He has 1 pair that does the sunglasses. No, 1 pair that's a reading glasses and 1 pair that are are close up and far away. And so
as one is wont to have.
Right, and he's sitting there going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But the entire time, he's doing the I'm over a certain age looking over top of the glasses thing.
Right.
And we are catching each other's eye all like when they do something, we're sitting there in the corner like this. The entire time. So
did you see what she just did?
Exactly. And then we weren't even having communication. It was more like, listen. Then we sent a text message back and forth. It was a lot. It was a lot. But we got our life though. But I was laughing the entire weekend because I was saying, oh my God, we're turning into these 2 old bitches. Like we're the old bitches, and which is fine because there's nothing wrong with that. But it was amazing. We had the chance to go down to the African American Museum. The Museum of African American History and Culture. So we were down there. It is amazing.
Namaha.
Yeah, it is amazing.
It is. I thought you'd been before.
So every time I've either got tickets to go or was scheduled to go, I never got in.
Oh, okay. So this is your first time.
This is my first time.
Maybe them underground levels moves you, don't it?
So the underground levels, yes, they really do move you. But the problem is, we were so we as a people, we want to see it, and I get it. We're excited about it because it's ours and we own it. But listen, we had great grandma.
Bitch, could you move? God damn.
Exactly. And I'm sitting there trying to not.
I'm trying not to be mad. Yeah. Listen, I'm trying to be cool in this museum, but I'm gonna need you to get out of the flow of traffic.
Great grandma, great grandpa, Aunt Bessie on the cane, Aunt Lulu in the car, in the motorized scooter,
and the one in the wheelchair that they got to push all over the damn place,
all over the place. And it's the wide chair because Aunt Bessie got a little weight on her. She's got a little weight on her.
She's got the bariatric chair.
So I'm like, okay. So, and I'm trying to get into the way they had everything categorized.
Yeah.
Or cataloged, and they did a really good job of showing the migration from Africa of the different parts of Africa into where they came into the United States.
Yeah.
And how the trade was. It was not just the Dutch. It was the Spanish. They were just showing all these people how they came from. So that was interesting to me.
Yeah.
And then also talking about the agriculture and the things that were actually the skills that were brought over here by the indigenous people.
Well, yeah.
Well, obviously. And so just certain things that weren't going on. So it was just kind of interesting to see, but I couldn't get into it as much as I could.
So the first time I went with one of my fraternity brothers who brought her daughter along, who was 8 years old. And, that's a very moving space. And so it was too moving for her. So we sort of had to rush through it because she... when some people get nervous, they got to go to the bathroom. So she was like, I got to go. And, of course, there's no fucking bathroom on the first 6 levels.
And they tell you.
You need to go to the bathroom.
Tell you before you go.
You got to walk all the way up.
Back
it's like
up.
a 20 or 30-minute walk. Even if you're, at a brisk pace, it's a 30-minute walk just to get back up to where the first set of bathrooms are. So I've gone back since and then had I didn't have a not enjoyable experience, but it was a different experience because there wasn't a child with me.
Right.
And I understood she was 8 years old. It was a moving experience. She wasn't misbehaved.
No.
It was just a very moving experience. She was in tears, and so she just, some people are just much more sensitive about it. So I respected that, but I was like, I can't wait to come back here by myself without this child.
And then of course we had that one kid that was just in there just making noise like, ah! And I'm sitting there like both Dana and I are sitting there. We're doing it the entire time. I'm like,
you don't shut your.
Listen.
You don't shut your goddamn ass up. I swear to God, I will.
And he was just rambling.
If I got to take you in this bathroom,
exactly. But the problem is, when our parents would take us in the bathroom and they didn't give us that look, and they've been like, "Bitch, this is my child."
Let me show you how this go. That's all.
Get your shit.
That's all Stephanie had to do.
Listen.
That one snap got you all the way together from across the room.
And if for some reason you didn't listen, bitch, when you got outside, oh boy.
What did I tell you?
Bitch. I tell you about the time I got caught in the car.
No.
Bitch, my mom we was in the mall, I don't know what I did, but she locked the door and I put the seatbelt on. Ooh. Baby, she recently that steering wheel pulled that candy off or that Dr. Scholl's. Crack, crack, crack. I'm seatbelted and I couldn't go nowhere. I was like, one for Mary Alice, zero for Epic.
Right.
But anyway, so it was a good experience. I had a great time. I adopted another niece because one of them needs a whole lot of guidance, like a whole lot of guidance.
Niece meaning like a biological female or a gay niece?
A gay niece.
A geese.
A geese.
Okay.
Yeah, so I adopted another geese.
Okay.
So, but anyway, it was a great time. Took them over to the fireplace as well. Shout out to...
they stab? They be stabbing in the fireplace. Like Delia said, I'm sitting in the fireplace with phone books taped to my body.
Shout out to Kirk for getting us drunk as hell because he gave us a cup. We ordered one lemon drop and he gave us like 4 different variations of that. Blueberry.
That's cute.
It was like everything.
A blueberry.
So, listen. And I had the vodka and
like
cranberry.
shots or like full drinks?
No, they were lemon drops, like the shots you take.
Yeah, okay.
So you can have it as a full drink, but he
Right.
made them as shots. And so we had, by the time I had the regular drink that I had a vodka and cranberry, then I had a Tennessee honey, then I had the 3 shots or 4 shots.
Up.
Listen, when I walked out that door, I was like, I need to go to Z-Burger now. And
Right.
I was in Z-Burger like, can I get a large fry, please? And I'm walking to the Metro like... I'm on the Metro steps at DuPont sitting down like, listen, I knew how that story was going to end, and it did not end that way. And thank you, Jesus.
Story ends, a story view,
but other than that,
it was
it was a great weekend though. Had a good time, and So how was your week?
I did a lot. So I went to Orlando to hang out with my fraternity brothers. Now I told them hoes up front. Because they were like, all right, so Friday night, they will talk about we're going to go to this speakeasy. And it was, it had one of them, it was one of those we want to be fancy Negro kind of places. So it was no tennis shoes, no jeans, no blah, blah, blah.
No Timbs, no jeans, no track suits.
Right. And so I was like, I don't have those kind of clothes. Plus, I come to do, some butt naked hoe shit. So I threw on my shirt. So we had the little reception and everything. That was cute. It was cute seeing everybody. And then Friday night, they're all getting dressed. And they're like, you're not coming with us, Brother Dominion? My name isn't Dominion. But, you coming? I was like, no. I done told y'all up front. And then so someone was like, well, we want to come with you. I was like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, that's not how this is going. So I came back down. And I was hoping they would already be gone because it wasn't like a confrontation. I'm certainly not scared of them hoes. I'm the founder. My name is on the charter, not theirs. But I just didn't want to. I just felt like it would just be kind of awkward with me in my. I mean, I did have a shirt that said, recycling access point, come piss spit. And them straight boys and straight girls weren't ready for it. So I come down in my crown, my crown at the jaunty angle. Mm-hmm. And so when I came down the stairs in my my orange camouflage jeans, my recycling access point T-shirt, and my jaunty crown, they was Some of them were less scandalized than they were pretending to be because I was like, girl, I've seen you at the club in Fort Lauderdale, so okay, you okay.
And I
okay. If that's what you need to do, but okay. Because me and one of my fraternity brothers, we was texting. It was like, you see the way he looking at so and so? It was like, yeah. Like I wonder if his quote unquote girlfriend quote unquote knows. Anyway,
if your girl only
you're right. So anyway, so I left and I went to Parliament House. I had high expectations of Parliament House. I had never been to the Parliament House in Augusta. Now, let me describe the Parliament House in Augusta.
Yeah.
It is a pink stucco fence around a motel complex. Mm-hmm. The motel is a 2-story motel and then a 1-story motel, a pool, a hot tub, an administration building, and a dungeon building. This is where, like, Fist Fuck Association has their monthly parties. This is where you go to do butt naked hoe shit. This is the kind of place where it is a legitimate motel. But when I say that the first time or the one time, you know, you go there, you immediately go to Walmart or something, get a can of Lysol
and spray the whole damn
mattress down. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, then you come back like an hour later after everything is dry. But this is the kind of place where, you know, you had a curtains peeled back so people could see what's going on, or you're, you know, in the door presenting your wares. It was like, love for sale, appetizing young love for sale. So that's what I was expecting in Orlando. Now I knew that it was also a club complex.
Okay.
But I was still expecting all the butt naked hoe shit. So you come in, it's a U-shaped 2-story motel. There's a pool. There's several different clubs. There's like an actual theater. So like they had their drag shows in like an actual theater with like tiered seats and everything. And then there's like this club, and then there's that club, and there's like a little leather bar, and there's like a disco. And there's like this, and then there's that. And then I was like, okay, this is cute, but where's the hoe shit going on? Come on, hoe shit. I want some hoe shit. I want some hoe shit.
I think that's the next T-shirt. I want some hoe shit.
Yeah. And butt naked hoe shit, yes.
Okay.
And so, Volt. So I was there. It was Isu's birthday.
Okay.
So happy birthday, Isu.
Happy
and
birthday.
So it was me, Isu, Volt, some other dude whose name I can't remember. So they was like, well, you know, sometimes they carry on at the beach. So I was like, the beach? So this place is right. It could, you know, under the wrong circumstances, it was like Sleepaway Motel because there's like a beach and a lake.
You auditioned for American Horror Story season.
American Horror Story, Parliament House. And so you walk out and it's like a sandy beach and it's like an actual lake where you can see, you know, houses and shit on the other side of the lake. And there's like 3 people carrying on. And then, so, you know, you walk around, you know, so what you do is you do the circuit. You walk around upstairs and downstairs, see what's going on in the room. 90% of the rooms were empty. And then the 10% of the rooms that were filled was Night of the Living Dead.
Oh, I'm out.
So I was like, I mean, don't get me wrong, we had a good time, but we always have a good time because we're together.
Right.
But I came prepared to do butt naked hoe shit. I even brought accoutrement for butt naked hoe shit.
Your travel hoe bag.
I had a pill, you know, just so that I could be ready to go.
The travel hoe bag. But I mean,
my travel hoe
bag.
bag.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just a couple little travel things and a little extra accessories. And
all it was just a blue pill and a cock ring. That was all I needed. And so I was ready, and none of that happened.
No, you didn't bring your favorite toy?
Well, it is an actual club, so I mean, I didn't. No, I didn't, because I mean, I wasn't prepared to have a play scene. I was just prepared to get my dick wet and, you know, get a good 3-4 day night. But that did not happen.
Okay.
So we did still have a good time, but I was disappointed, and I don't really feel the need to go back there too often. To do that, if we're just going to say, hey, we're going to the drag show and we're going to hang out and listen to music and go to their little leather bar, and they got a little leather store and an antique store for some reason. The antique store was kind of cute, though.
I'm out. I'm out.
So, you know, it was but it was not at all what I expected. And so the next day we went to this club called Stonewall. So, you know, every city, not every, but a lot of cities have a club called Stonewall. And this was Latin night. And let me tell you, the entire supply of Central Florida tight pants was in the spot that night. I mean, you know, there are skinny jeans,
but then there
are skinny
jeans,
and then so these are thick ass, big dick Latin boys in these skinny jeans. Like the jeans was so tight, I could confirm that they were all Catholic,
or they were circumcised,
right? And like, so I was just like, Jesus. I mean, I was not complaining. I'm just, you know, painting a picture for the people. So, you know, that was cute. So I was there with one of my fraternity brothers who, you know, we're just talking. Because he was like, we were at the banquet for the reunion, and he's on the national council. So he was like, what you doing after this? And I didn't know his tea until then, because I mean, I don't really see him. But, you know, the last time I saw him was like 7-8 years ago. And then I was like, well, I don't know what they doing, but I'm about to go do some gay shit. Because I don't give a fuck. I'm a founder of the organization. I mean, when I was in college, I wouldn't have said I'm going to do some gay shit. But I'm 48 years old. I'm a founder of the organization. Half of the pictures that they got are pictures of me and my LBs. So what the fuck they going to do? And then he was like, oh, really? Will you take me? And I was like, then you look at him a different way. You be like,
you know,
oh, for real? You
okay,
okay, all right.
Then you do one of these numbers.
All right.
Come on over here for that. Let me. I just want to just.
No, but he was basic. He is the very definition of a guggle. Of the very, like, he talked about, yeah, you know, I like to get into a little kink. I got a couple of harnesses, and I was like, okay, so yeah, but we still have fun.
Okay.
But you know, but we ain't do nothing because he wasn't ready. He wasn't ready for none of the shit that I was ready to do.
Okay, all right.
None of the shit that I was ready to do. But we still had a good time.
Okay.
We had a wonderful time. So that was that. The reunion itself was lovely. You know how you haven't seen people in like 5, 7, 10, 25 years, and they show up and you're like, you gotta overlay whatever they look like now with what you remember what they look like.
Then you be sitting there like,
yes, okay, I got you.
I
got you. And my crying was limited. I did not cry as much as I did before. I cry a lot. You've never seen me cry. Oh, maybe you have once. But no, when I get around my fraternity brothers, I can get emotional.
Okay.
It was. I'm like Vivian Green. Emotional roller coaster. Last night I cried, tossed and turned, woke up with dry eyes. My mind was racing, feet were pacing. Lord help me, please tell me what I have gotten into.
Ran my 3 miles.
And that's when you lose me, because I ain't losing no damn 3 miles.
I give you 2. That's about it.
I give you a half a mile, and I'm like, whoo, bitch. Anyway, so that's that. We're also going to debut a new segment, Dear Dominion. Well, Dear Dominion and Epic. So I got a story for us to tell. I want to get your opinion on it. But I am pleased to announce that after 175,000 interviews over the course of 2.5 months.
2.5 years, actually.
2.5, no, right? It seems like it. I did get the job.
Congratulations.
And so I have learned from our brother Taz, who lives in California.
I thought that's
I got you. That's somebody else.
All right.
But he got a new job, and he did not mention the name of his company, because he said if he mentions the name of the company, then they can like search for that or find him or whatever. And so, you know, when I worked for the Pentagon and the Air Force, I don't give a fuck. But, you know, private sector is a little different. So, like today I posted, I was like, I will be working as a program manager for Redacted Airlines at Redacted International Airport. Now, honestly, I'm not moving. So, I mean, it's not hard to figure out.
It is what it is.
But it is what it is. But I did get the job. And starting on July 15th, I will be in Chicago
that is
for
hot.
2 weeks.
Isu is down in Florida.
He's in Orlando, but Marcus lives in and Legionnaire and everybody else, and so I gotta see if it's like market days or something that's happening while I'm there, because that'll be cute. Because in the evenings, and I gotta see, so I'll be there on the 15th, and the training lasts for 2 weeks. So if they're going to pay for me to stay over the weekend there,
then it gotta work.
That'll be cute. Even if they do, fly me back home, that'll be cute, and I might stay over the weekend on my own dime because the coin is cute. So I'll just leave it at that.
But if you got what you want, bitch, you do it for.
I did get what I wanted. I don't have flight benefits though, because they were gonna try to make me a. No, this is to be clear. So this job was big. No. So this job is actually with a staffing agency.
Okay.
Working through the staffing agency, but it's like a year-long contract, so it's not like temp. But that's going to be like it's a 40% salary increase. So with that,
40%
they
is cute.
had wanted to bring me on as an employee of Redacted Airlines.
Right.
And then they were like, because you will get free flights anywhere you want, 25 buddy passes to give out or whatever.
As soon as you said that, I already know what you're talking about.
Here's what we're going to pay you, and it's less than I'm making now. I was like, bitch, here's where I am. Here's what they were going to pay me. Here's what they were going to pay me. I was like, I'm not going to fly this much to make up for that gap.
Let me tell you something. That's not true. My mother worked for the airlines. She didn't go nowhere. Bitch, I was gone every weekend. Every weekend.
Yeah, but I'm not working for you hoes. I'm working for me. I might have hooked y'all up once or twice, but every time you
what
went
I'm saying is, in that particular instance,
Right.
she didn't fly. I used her pass.
Right.
But, oh no.
Yeah, but no,
be
I was
gone.
not going. I was not going to fly $60,000 worth a year.
You know you get to fly first class, right?
What?
You know you get to fly first class, right?
I know that, and I'm still going to fly first class when I work for Redacted Airlines because it's business class,
Right.
Because I'm their own business. But
Well,
my
okay,
point is, I was not going to make enough.
That's a
I wasn't
huge
gonna-
difference.
that is
Like,
a huge
put that in my
gap.
check as opposed to
Right,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah,
I'd
put
much
that in
rather
my
have that gap and then pay for whatever I'm going to fly
So
out of pocket.
I agree with
So-
you, but
so,
but I'm still like,
I know.
But
Because
okay.
when she started naming it, I was like, oh, that is cute.
Yeah.
That is cute. And then she was like, so here's what they want to pay. I was like, oh, you just keep me as a contract employee. And since I'm a contract employee, I get overtime too.
oh, bitch, you gonna be
So I get time and a half. Bitch.
yeah. Go on, get that money. Go on, make that money.
All right. So, Dear Dominion.
Oh, that was cute.
I know, right?
Okay.
So, Dear Dominion, my ex, Dear Dominion and Epic, excuse me. My ex just asked me to do a freak threesome with him and this guy who's going to be visiting on Friday. And he wants me to be my daddy dom sir. Should I do it? Signed, Curious in Anacostia.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry. Repeat it again because I just
All
want
right.
to make sure I'm hearing everything.
Dear
right.
Dominion and Epic.
Right.
My ex just asked me to do a threesome with him and this dude who is coming to town to visit, and his ex. My ex wants me to play the role of Daddy Dom Sir, because this person is
Of the second person.
of them both.
Okay, got you.
Of
All right.
them both.
Gotcha.
And this is what the third person looked like. I'm not sure if I want to deal with my ex this way.
Bitch,
It could
them
be
lips is
fun.
everything.
I know. Or it could be messy. What should I do? Sign, Curious and Anacostia. I will let Epic go first.
So, in my opinion,
And he's watching.
If you have no limitations with the idea of doing a threesome, which you may have, then I would say,
I will interject that the breakup was messy.
okay, if you have no objections doing a threesome, which it sounds like you do not at this particular point, because you may have, then I would say go ahead and do the threesome. However, with this little piece of information about a messy breakup, hopefully this has been long enough.
It has not. In my opinion.
So this. Okay, so I need more.
Because I know this person.
I need more information.
I mean, I don't want to put all this business in the street.
But in order for me, it sounds like I need more information because I have.
But just based on that, no. All right, so I won't tell you anymore. So just based on that information.
Based on that, I would say if you have no problems with a threesome, I would say carefully consider it because if they're an X for a reason. Number one, and number
That's literally what I said.
Yeah, and number two. This new person, I mean, you very well may hit it off with that new person, but the chemistry amongst the three of you, that's going to be tricky because you have a connection.
This is why
with
we
one.
roll. Come here. Because this is. I'm gonna read you what I said.
You have a connection with the one,
literally,
and so
what I said. I said, dear Anxious and Anacostia, nope, don't do it. He is an X for a reason. You don't need that drama in your life. And while this person is a dom, he's developing, so he's still a bit newer in his journey than you or I am. But he ain't brand new. He's not like not a dom. Today I'm a dom.
Like
no.
microwave 30 seconds. Ding. He's
right.
a dom. Okay.
So also, as you develop your kink self, you'll find that people want you to show up and perform. Establish now that is not acceptable because what his ex wants him to do is come in and play the role of this daddy dom and dom them both. So
and then you know what
I said, establish now that is not acceptable unless they are coming up off the coins.
Yeah, because this is like pay for play. Like you're really being pimped out at this point.
Right, you're being pimped out, and I don't know how much you get it, but I get it all the fucking time. Where dudes are like, I want you to come, I want you to do this, or I want you, to get 2 or 3 of your brothers, and I want y'all to come, and I want y'all to all fuck me, I want you to beat me, and I want you to spank me, and all this. I was like,
let me send you my cash app.
All right, bitch, here's my cash app, here's my Venmo.
If
If you just want to have an organic scene together, now clearly some of us are going to play specific roles in that scene, but if you got a whole list of standards and practices and riders and shit, and how you want me to
M&Ms
be,
and you want the
right?
No,
then
bitch,
you got to pay me.
Yeah, no, we're not doing that. Not for
you
free.
Pay me, fuck you.
Yeah,
pay me to fuck you. So I said I would not. Where was I? I said establish now that is not acceptable unless they are willing to come up off the coins. I would not do it. Your ex wants you to perform so he can get off.
And something in their relationship. Something in their relationship doesn't sound right.
All right, so he said I could tell a story. All right, so when they started, the person who wrote this was not totally, but more submissive to the ex.
Okay.
Then they broke up. Now all of a sudden the ex want to be the submissive bottom.
That's the problem. There was no communication in that relationship.
So he always wanted to be the submissive bottom.
You should have communicated. He should have communicated that to you, and you probably would have been. You probably would have still been in a relationship.
Versatile,
or you could have been versatile. Like it could have been a very amicable relationship.
Right. Well, and so see, I knew all that, so that informs my answer too. And then he says, he blah blah blah. They did hook up one time before. He's been at the dom and the ex hooked up before. He's been asking for a threesome for months. He wants him to join in and fuck the dude, and also wants him to fuck him. So the dom is now going to be fucking 2 people. And I said, of course he does. And if you give that boy with the sexy lips more energy than you gave him, it's going to be a real problem.
It's going to be a problem.
Real problem.
And because again, the danger with a threesome is there's always sometimes a connection. More often than not, there's a connection between just 2 people as opposed to 3. So that's always going to. And I have a feeling that if you do what he wants you to do, and you're doing that to the third person, the new person, he's going to be upset.
So here's how we know it's going to be a problem. Y'all hooked up once. He's been begging to hook up again. That means you turned his ass out.
Turned it.
Now, what he's thinking is that if
he's watching. Oh, I'm sorry. Bravo.
Right. You turned your ex out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that's fine. But now, so this is how people operate. People say shit, and then when you don't get it, they try to switch shit up. And so here's what they say. I really want you. I want you back. I want you to fuck me. I want you to dom me. I want you to dom me. And you're like, say it. No, not interested in that. And he's like, okay, well then how about a threesome? And exactly, because what he's hoping is that once y'all get together and do it, but see, you are taking him at his word. And you're like, okay, well, I'm going to hook up with this other person, and he going to turn out the new boy just like he turned you out. But the problem is, he going to be sitting there like, I want him to turn me out like
He
that.
ain't do that with me this time. I mean,
Right. I
understand. Like, what? She
you
got to go.
you was banging him out. You was
She got
just
to go.
like slow stroking me. She got, and then exactly.
She
It
got
might
to
be
go.
like, he might turn on the lights and be like, he got to go.
Party's over. Everybody get out. You gotta
So,
go.
bottom line, don't do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say don't do it.
All right. So, what we got to talk about today?
We had a lot of things going on. So
We hope that was helpful. This is a new segment called Dear Dominion and Epic.
So, a couple of new things. So, for all I've talked about this before, the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, which is the new Sabrina the Teenage Witch. There is she's been not only signed on for a season 3, but also a season 4.
Okay.
And so, just to give you guys a little bit of perspective, it was part 1 hit Netflix in October of last year, before Halloween. Then the Christmas special came out in mid-December, and then part 2 premiered back in April. So we're not sure when the season 3 will come out, but again, it's on its way. But again, it's also going to be season 4. And if any of you have been following it, season 2 ended with a lot of different things that went on. Her boyfriend was carried off to hell by, so it was a whole bunch of things. So everybody is signed on to come back, and there's some conversation about a couple of spinoffs. So all the main characters will be coming back, all the supporting cast. Listen, my girl Prue is still going to come back. So the blonde with the black girl with the blonde hair, I love her. But anyway, so everybody's supposed to be coming back. And so be on the lookout for that.
Okay.
Also, as I found, there is a new season
Yes.
of Love, Death, and Robots. Now, I haven't watched it yet.
You haven't watched it?
I have not watched it.
How
but-
did you find this out, though?
So I was looking
Just-
at this information.
okay.
I saw this as well. But again, it is an NSFW anthological animated sci-fi series. For those of you that don't know, you've
Tell you,
watched it. You thought it was amazing.
my slave introduced me to it. Let me tell you, Love, Death, and Robots. If you have not, I'm not one of them people that's like, Netflix, 'cause I don't really watch a whole lot of TV. And my slave was always trying to get me to watch new shit. 95% of this, I'm like, I'm not interested. But this, everything, I binged watched the whole fucking season in one evening. We watched like one episode that weekend in April when we drove up to New York City. I got home and immediately watched like the whole, it was like 16 episodes. But none of the episodes are more than like 20 minutes long. So it wasn't.
Well, make sure you block your time off on July 26th. That's when it's going to be released, so you can go ahead and check it out on Netflix.
I'm living for that.
So I probably have to go and check this damn series out because you
Yeah.
mentioned it before, and I was.
I
like,
mean,
oh,
we
I'll get to
got
it.
I'm saying you come over and watch it on the big screen,
Oh, that's right.
It's cute.
All 197 inches of television.
2,000
in the basement.
inches of TV.
Where the volume is on 5, I have to kind of put my earplugs in and sit back, looking like the person on the Memorex commercial with the stick blowing behind
One of the
me.
things that I love about the basement the most, that shag carpet, because it's on the concrete floor, it stays cool. So like when you take your shoes off or rub your feet in it, your feet just feel like I legitimately thought that, like, when I first finished the basement, I was like, oh shit, there's water here. It feels so cool. It feels like it's water. And so I was like, there's water in the basement, and it's not. Is it that the carpet is cooled down to the temperature of the floor? And it just feels beautiful under your feet.
Okay. And that carpet was like thick as hell.
The pile is
Yeah,
like 2.5
thick
inches
shit,
thick. Yeah.
Okay. So what else went on? This week was the 2019 BET Awards that actually went on. There was a lot of stuff on the show. Let me be clear. It was a lot of stuff. But let me give a shout out to Regina Hall.
Yes.
Regina Hall repped DC so well.
Yes.
For any of you that have seen Beyonce's Homecoming, she kind of did a takeoff of that at the beginning. And she
Dear,
was hilarious.
Just like Miss Taylor Swift, this is how you reference, a show or some other artist without, fully ripping it off.
Yes. And she politely dashed over it.
Not that, Beyonce hasn't been accused of theft and,
That's
thievery.
that's
That's a whole other story.
That's another show.
That's
That's
another
another
story.
show.
I mean, I love Beyonce. So.
Listen, we're not going to talk about
Yes.
girls. We're not going to talk about that. We're not talking
Okay.
about Major Legend. But anyway, Regina Hall gave a shout out. I'm giving a shout out to her because she was funny as hell. There was even a part where in the video when she was acting like or doing a spoof of Beyonce, where she was talking to these people that were trying to audition for the show, and she was trying to understand.
Oh, Homecoming, because I haven't watched that yet.
So there's a part of it in Homecoming where Beyonce is watching her dancers and they're auditioning, and so Regina is doing the same thing as well. And so she's talking to them, and she's like, they're singing, and she's like, so you all are from D.C., right? She's like, yeah. They're like, yeah, we're all from D.C. She's like, yeah. She's like, y'all hung out in D.C.? She said, yeah. She said, y'all hung out at Haynes Point, right? Yeah, we have. She's like, that club was everything, right? She was like, yeah, that club is everything. She was like, bitch, you're out of here. You're not even from D.C. It's not a club. Get out of here. Get out. So, I mean, it's a funny little, and then she's doing a prayer like Beyonce does before the start of the show, and she's singing the words, or she's saying the prayer, which are the words to Sardines and Pork and Beans. Listen,
I gotta watch this.
Like it's the beginning.
She's not really fuck with BET like that, but BET is, I'm at least watch it on YouTube or something.
So there were several people that performed. The Baby. Some of these people I don't know who they are. Let me be clear. So the Baby performed. Lil Nas.
Who the fuck is the Baby?
Listen.
Oh, you just reading off the paper.
I'm reading off. Lil Nas and Billy Ray Cyrus performed, but Lil Nas has that little deal with Wrangler.
Yeah.
And so they came in, but they actually came in on the red carpet on horses.
Really?
So listen, they made it, and Regina Hall did a shout out to him. She was like, yeah, she was like, Billy Ray Cyrus, he's from DC. He went to Howard. He graduated in like 85. She is hilarious.
I saw that and I was like, Billy Ray Cyrus went to Howard. I was like,
hilarious.
That was a joke. Okay.
Lizzo came on stage, and listen, Deviant, thank you so much for talking about her. Lizzo came on that stage and turned that place out. Have you seen her perform?
Never really heard her perform.
Get into her performance.
Okay.
Let's see. Rihanna introduced Mary J. Blige, who received the Lifetime Achievement Award
winner. Did she cry or something? Who was crying?
It wasn't Rihanna, but all I will say is Mary got up on stage and did this like 19-minute montage of all her stuff.
Like when Beyonce did like the whole Lemonade album on stage? Was it not worth it though?
It was worth it.
I heard people like divided. Some people loving it. Other people felt.
So let me tell you what I thought about it.
Sometimes Mary's voice is a little.
So number one, she walked out on stage with this all white outfit on and these obnoxiously, stereotypically Mary glasses. So the glasses are like out to here. She's all white, but she clean as shit. So you can't. The glasses like that big. But anyway. I felt like there was something wrong with the microphone. She couldn't hear the music, so she was off trying to sing stuff.
Oh, okay.
And then on top of that, I think she got an attitude afterwards because it kind of threw everything else off for her. So, and they also tried to choreograph. You know how Mary does her little dance where she gets into that like drunk thing?
Right.
They tried to choreograph it, and it didn't fit. So it didn't work. So I don't know if she was mad about something. I don't know what it was, but there were moments in the show where she was really getting into it, and she kind of did it. But it was a cute montage. It was a cute trip down memory lane.
Okay.
Lil' Kim showed up.
I heard that she turned.
Listen, her boots were everything. That hair, that's something different, but that boot was everything.
Okay.
Method Man
I saw that Lil' Kim's surgery has settled nicely.
It has. She's looking less Joan Rivers and The Lion King and more like
a little less lamb choppish.
Yeah, a little less lamb choppish. But anyway, Method Man showed up.
Your new boo?
New. We have 3.2 kids. What are you talking about? Listen, I don't know what you're doing, Meth, but keep it up, babe. Keep it up, babe. Fanny sung, which I couldn't quite understand what her outfit
Who the fuck
was.
Is Fanny?
Fantasia.
Oh.
I couldn't quite understand what her outfit was, but okay, it's whatever. There was a whole bunch of other stuff that really went on. They did a tribute to Nipsey Hussle. Now, listen.
You could say Nipsey Hussle did Sardines and Pork and Beans, and I wouldn't know. I mean, I know he didn't.
I am going to hell for this. They brought his family on stage to posthumously award him this to give him this award. The grandmother spoke. She was stereotypical black grandmother, strong and powerful and this, that, and other. The mother got on stage and she started to speak, and so
was she hood?
She started off with, I'm a spiritual woman, and so I was talking to, so she's trying to weave this story about what happened and try to make people think about something, but it was no point. It was like she was rambling on, like, I'm a spiritual woman. I talked to a woman with the big breasts, and then they called me over here to get to my husband, and my son was nesting.
Was it like this episode of In Living Color? You're like, you see the coagulation
not
of the...
Not quite that, but she was just off, and I was sitting there like, somebody get the damn hook and get her off the stage. Like, Scatman Crothers her ass and get her off that stage. Okay, whatever. But they gave him an award. DJ Khaled was there as well. So it was It was an okay show, but Regina made the show. So thank you, Regina. And Taraji showed up.
Good.
As well. EU
Another
came out
DC
and performed.
homegirl.
Yes. And listen, Taraji and Regina was up on stage doing the butt. They were doing EU and Rare Essence. Like, it was a great little thing. So I shout out to BET and Taraji as well as Regina for doing that little section. So it was really good.
Okay. So what we got? Let's hit something real quick. So
hold on. Final season of Orange is the New Black.
Okay.
Season 7. That's coming up. And that actually is going to be on July the 26th. Oh, I'm sorry. I gave a wrong date. July 26th is for Orange is the New Black, but for
Love, Death, and
Robots,
not-
there's no release date as of yet.
Okay.
But other than that, yeah.
All right. So we're gonna talk about this church video for like 5 seconds.
That's all we got. That's all I got for
That's
it.
all I got. Because listen, I don't really give a fuck. I mean,
Part 1, part
Part
2.
so here's my feelings on it. The video was so dudes were sucking dick. That it was in the church was only an issue to me in as much as now that it's become public, I knew that boy's life is going to be ruined.
Both of them.
I don't really fuck about him because I feel like he set that boy up. Because that boy, I don't think I think he's young. At first I was like, is that boy slow? I don't think he's slow. I just think he's young. And clearly, dude was setting him up. He was like, yeah, we doing this in your daddy church, pastors. And he like named the church that they were at and everything. And never trust a dude that want to film you but don't want to be on film. Never trust that. And I was like, this is just not going to go well for him. But then he got on, and he's a fairly attractive young man.
He all right.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, he's all right. He's not unattractive. Let me be clear about that.
Right.
And I'm not hating on him. I'm just
But,
saying.
he did this whole long-ass 11-minute rant on
Church
YouTube.
and what he's went through.
Like I posted on Facebook, let me just give you the summary. I'm not gay no more. I'm delivered. I mean, was that not the essence of what he said? It was essentially, he kept talking in like generalities. It was like, we've all done things in our past.
Actually, what I got
I'm not that person anymore.
What I got from him really was, I did it and fuck you. That's what I got. I did
Really?
it and fuck you. That's what I got.
Oh.
Because he talked about it. He said he had a sex addiction. He said y'all knew all this
Oh,
stuff
well, maybe
about
I
me.
didn't watch all
Yeah,
of
like
it. I
I
didn't
no,
watch
because
all
I
of it.
literally
Okay.
watched all of it, and I was like, so I got from. He's like, I did it and fuck you. That's what I got.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm sure I'm cutting it curt. I'm being curt. So I don't know.
Yeah, so. I saw something. You know what annoyed me though was how quickly people went to find these people's personal information.
Listen, the internet is a dangerous thing. I was having this conversation with the brother who's coming down this weekend again. Mm-hmm. So about people, and especially in YouTube, the YouTubers will find out your information. They'll post your information. Listen.
I mean,
people are
within
vicious.
24 hours, at least 24 hours of me receiving the video, they knew who they were, what church they was at, and everything. I do want to know. I was like, had they replaced that chair yet?
They ain't gonna, because there was there was gonna say
I mean,
there
they
was
do
no
nothing in the
evidence
chair,
of in the
but-
chair, but.
Anyway, so all right, so
was
Billy
that?
Porter to receive star on Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Yes.
Okay.
There were several people included, but Billy Porter definitely was slated to. He was acknowledged actually last week. He's been ever since he was a teenager in 1994, and he performed. He's been a standout, and so he's finally gotten.
He was not a
recognition.
teenager in 1994.
I'm
Billy-
sorry. He played a teen angel in 1994.
Oh, okay.
You're right. You're right. He played a teen angel in 1994. He's
Okay.
been a standout ever since then. But he was one of the honorees was Spike Lee, Julia Roberts, Octavia Spencer, Mahershala Ali, Christina Applegate, Andy Cohen, Kathleen Gifford, Terry Crews, Milo Ventimiglia, Elvis Costello, Billy Idol, and Alicia Keys. And so all these people have approximately 2 years from the date that they've been acknowledged as honorees to set up a date to get their star.
Oh, okay, that's
So
cute.
we shall see.
All right, so Pose, the last episode we'll get to talk about before our hiatus. All right, so I was right. What did I say? Somebody
Somebody's got
about
to
to
die.
die. And we all knew it was going to be that dude. What was his name? Peter? Phil?
I think it was Peter.
Peter?
I think it was
Pete,
Peter.
Something
Peter, somebody.
Something like that.
Dead
it was
white
Pete.
Man. Dead white man. That's what he was. He was
So
dead white man after a
Elektra
while.
You know, so dude showed up.
But listen, get into that gas mask though. I was like,
Yeah, I was listen. We already had a thread about
okay, you know, like,
where to get it. So dude showed up. Electra was like,
Urban Neighbors Circles.
yeah, probably,
Yeah, okay.
or Amazon. It was only like $15. Yeah, Walter knew about it.
That's right.
Yeah, Sir Apocalypse knew about it.
Thank you, Apocalypse.
So Electra's like, I don't do drugs, and he was like,
You know the drugs. Here's the cash. She was like, well, this time.
right. And so you saw him cutting the coke and everything on the counter, and then he was like, let me just get in the headspace before you beat me. And so he said, give me 20 minutes. Electra was gone for like an hour and a half.
So first off, the problem was,
You
why are you
never
leaving that man
leave.
alone? Like you had
This is
him
what I'm saying. You
restrained.
don't if you're not a professional dom or don't get any training, you're never, even if the person says, I want to be left alone, that means your ass is like right outside the door, or so that they
You are
have
out
the
of his
appearance.
sight.
Right.
He is not out of yours. So the way he was set up, you could have stood behind him in the corner and he'd have been fine.
Right.
But
yeah, and you
whatever.
definitely don't be gone for an hour, and then he came back and he was dead, so that set up a whole thing.
Yeah.
And then I was like, girl, they're just doing a whole Dorian Corey story.
Listen,
Did
if
they
y'all
though?
if y'all don't know Dorian Corey's story, you better look it up. Dorian Corey, a legend of the ballroom scene. She's in Paris
She
is
was
Burning.
in Paris is Burning. She
And-
was the one that said shade comes from reading.
Exactly.
That's Dorian Corey.
Get into
and
it.
while she was telling you that, she had a mummified body in her
In
closet.
that closet. So get into it.
Now, apparently, the story that I knew the story, but I didn't know the story behind the story. So
yeah, there's still
the
speculation. about it.
speculation was that was, well, they know who the dude is,
Right, they know, but they don't know what the relationship was.
Well, they kind of. He was most likely her boyfriend or someone that she was dating or otherwise involved in. He wanted her to get. He was also abusive, like a lot, and so like other girls that he dated did confirm that he was abusive.
Okay.
According to the note that Dorian Corey left, she said that a robber broke in, but we already
Right.
know that they have a relationship. So what's speculated is that, it was also known that he wanted her to have a sex change, and Dorian was like, "I'm a drag queen. I'm not interested in cutting my penis off. This is not what I want to do." So they must have got into it, and she killed him and kept his body because. And then this is the reason why this whole story, Peppermint.
Yes.
Was
Shout out
in
Peppermint. Great job at it. Great acting job, though.
And it was talking about how even to this day, but especially back then, trans women aren't believed and how they're victimized by and especially if you're a trans sex worker, you're victimized by the Johns, and then you're victimized by the system. Because he told a story about how this dude tried to beat her up. They got out of the car. The police showed up, and he spun this whole yarn about her trying to rob him. So she ended up going to jail. Then the guard at the jail offered to help her get makeup and everything, and she thought that he was giving her a kindness. No, he was setting her up so that he could pimp her out
Inside the prison.
inside jail. So so that was why, because initially Blanca was like, "You should go to the police," and all the
Candy
other
was
trans
like,
girls was like, "Bitch,
no. Like, bitch, what are you talking
there's
about?
no way that you should call the police," because, and then like even Candy was like, "Girl."
Why?
Because Blanca was like, Blanca was like, I've been to jail. I've been to jail a couple of times, for disorderly
arrested.
conduct.
I've been
I was
arrested.
arrested for a protest.
I
It was
speak
like,
jive.
It was like exactly. It was very that. It
I
was
speak jive.
very that. And Blanca, and whatever Peppermint's character's name was like, bitch, this is capital murder.
Right.
They're not just going to release you on your own recognizance.
Call it murder.
And right, he ran into that knife 17 times. Right, I mean, they're not just going to release you on
Yeah.
your own recognizance after a couple of hours in the dry tank when there's a dead rich white man,
not at all.
in the corner. So,
Not at all.
so separately, Angel did not get. She was one of the 5 girls for the face of the 90s, but I knew she wasn't going to make it because I was like, okay, girl, you're giving her too much in the thing. And I was like, you needed to play that a little softer.
Yes.
If that's what you want. I mean, sometimes you got to play the game if you want to. I mean, you could be rah-rah when you sitting on the other side of the chair when you a
Absolutely.
Wilhelmina.
Absolutely.
But if you want a Wilhelmina's models, you got to play that shit soft. Yeah, I get you from the Bronx and all of that, but you know, if you want this job, you want to
Now,
get your
actually,
shit
what
together.
I thought she was going to do is I thought she was going to set her up on another date. That's what I thought she was going to do.
Right.
But
I'm still not sure that if maybe she just has terrible surgery. I was like, is that woman trans?
I kept saying the same thing.
Is that
I
woman
was thinking
trans?
the same thing.
And is she trying to help
I
her
was
sister
trying to figure
out?
that out.
And
Like, I was trying
you
to
know,
figure that out, but-
and then so she doesn't get that, and she blows up at Blanca a little bit, but then she gets a call back.
For Wet and Wild.
Wet and Wild.
Wet and Wild.
Meanwhile, her and Poppy are having
God.
this thing. That moment on the bridge in Central Park was so
It was cute. It was very cute.
It was
It was very
so cute. And let me tell you, Lil Poppy that's baby. And the way he just stood up for himself, you wrote the quote down. Right now, you can't see it because you got your eye on other prizes, the photo shoots, the magazine covers, the famous people. But I am a prize. I love the way he stood up for himself and how he was just like, no. Cause all right, so she goes to this Wet and Wild photo shoot.
He was so serious. He was like, what?
He had a date plan for them.
He was
like
dressed.
and
Like
he
he
wasn't. This wasn't no.
Clean.
Listen, this wasn't no Ted Steakhouse. You know that's a cheap ass steakhouse
Right.
that's in Times Square where you can get a steak for like $7.
clean. He was
No,
clean.
they was going to like a fancy restaurant.
Clean.
And she didn't blow him off on purpose, but the
did
photo
not.
shoot. That
Lasted
day
till
was
9.
at 7. The photo shoot lasted to 9, and.
The guy he's like, do you want to make
wanna-
friends or you want to be in his business?
You want to be? He said you want to be a social butterfly,
social butterfly,
or you
right.
want to be
model.
the world's next top model, or whatever he said. And so when she gets home, she's all excited, and Poppy walks in, and then he's got the face right, and then she tells him I love that it was so genuine. He
It
was.
was.
Like, I
He was
legit.
very- yeah.
He was like, I legit am proud of you and happy for you. And
That's how you
want
know
you
that
to
man
be
is in love.
successful. But he said that, he said, but I'm a prize. And one day, and the way he just cried on cue, normally tears don't move me. These tears moved me. These tears moved me. It was cute. And I loved the way that they all banded together. When they went to the bootleg silicone chick spot,
Listen,
she said, I will
is
not
hilarious.
live
I don't know
forever.
she is hilarious. I love her character.
And when they was giving her, she was like, I don't go in the basement. And Caddy's like, come on, you bougie bitch.
I was like, yes, yes.
Oh, that was so good. I loved how they all stood up and, they sort of. And then I did love that when they really was about to get into it, when they was about to plan it, Elektra was like, Blanca, go.
Yeah, that was amazing.
That was.
right. Regardless of whatever, and Blanca mentioned this before. Like she's a bitch, and but they have a relationship. Like they are tight. It is really like a family for her. She's like out of here. She was like, whatever happens, you're not a part of it.
Right,
She's making
you got
that
this
ultimate
whole
sacrifice.
thing. I don't want you involved in this
She's
foolishness.
making the ultimate sacrifice.
Because they about to do some. They about to do some dirty shit.
they done
They
some
about
dirty
to
shit.
hide a body.
Yeah, they done some
potentially for
And listen,
ever.
And as many times as I had my own little thoughts about stuff, and maybe have even had a run in here or there, but I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if I could. I don't know. I don't know. And I'm leaning towards the side of no.
I don't know because I'm like,
But the guilt. At first it may not, but later on,
I feel like it would. But over time, I would get over because I was like, I didn't do nothing. That dude killed himself. If he had been anywhere else, they'd have been like another junkie overdose.
the guilt for me would have been the fact that I am now hiding this person. I'm not giving them back to their family so their family can then.
Yeah, but if you
properly-
heard Candy talk about the New York Post story, ain't nobody really give a fuck about
Oh no,
him.
I got that, but in my mind, just like when Blanca was saying, "Are you okay? Are you?" And she's like, "Well, I'm having nightmares. I'm kind of seeing him." So that
I
sort of
feel
stuff.
like because that had just happened. But I was like, over time, I'd be like,
Yeah, so I
wouldn't even think about it for like months and maybe years, and like go in that closet, and be like, oh shit, there is a body in here.
Yeah. Well, and then so on another side of that, when they finally go back to the drugstore, Blanca, Angel, and Damon, they actually go into the drugstore and they actually find, as well as Poppy, they go into
Yes.
the drugstore and they actually find the ad. They showed the picture with Angel's face on it for Wet and Wild, and she's the
And
cover
that was
girl.
a shout to
That was a shout
Tracy
to Tracy
Africa.
Africa. Her name is actually Tracy Norman, but she was in the House of Africa at that particular point in the ballroom scene. And so she was the first person that was on I think it was a Revlon, it was a relaxer box.
Right.
And so they pulled their shelf off. But again, just some shout outs to that.
So
some historical
I'm just
references.
concerned because we know it's not going to end well. I mean,
Well, it's not.
How can it? Because it's the early 90s. This is not 2019.
It's not gonna end well.
This is 1990. Even if the woman that owned the modeling agency is trans and know that she's trans, that photographer don't. The owners of Wet and Wild don't. So at some point, they're going to be pissed off at her, and Angel's career is going to come crashing down, and it's going to be like right when she's at the pinnacle. Like she's going to be getting ready to go to be in Paris Fashion Week or something, and they're going to be like, they're going to gank her ass at JFK or something.
So we'll see.
So
how that
it's not
happens.
going to, I think it's going to be
we'll
sad.
see how
So.
that happens. So I don't know. But anyway, thank you all for tuning in today. It has been a great run.
Wonderful.
It's been a great. We didn't even talk about Black Music Month. We can hit.
I know.
end out.
We'll just have to.
But I'm just going to say a couple of my favorites though.
Yeah,
But
please.
Listen, for Black Music Month, we now wanted to go into house music.
Mm-hmm.
Some of my favorite ones. So I'm gonna just read them all off. Let No Man Put Asunder by First Choice.
Yes.
The Hot Dance, Masters at Work. The Bomb,
Yes.
Buckethead.
Okay.
Love Is the Message, MFSB. Ooh, I Love It, Love Break, which is basically, you know it as Love Break. But that's also by Sal Soul. Cunty by Kevin Aviance.
Of course.
Work This Pussy by Go Bitch Go.
Yes.
Work That Motherfucker, Go Bitch Go as well. Hateful Head Helen, which is Sweet Pussy Pauline.
Yes.
I Want to Fuck You in the Ass, which is Out There Brothers, and Dendada, the original version by George Krantz. Those are my favorite house
Yes.
tracks, period, all time.
All right. So, read the outro.
Okay, so the BGK8 show streams live on Wednesdays on VoxWave.com. The show is on from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific. Episodes are available on YouTube every Friday. Search for Vox Power 373 and look for the BGK8 show with Dominion and Epic. Currently, we are and we will be able to host a studio audience, so we have seats. You can always come in.
Yes.
If you cannot come into the audience, you can always call in. And you can reach us
Yes.
and chat with us live at 240
719-2560.
We'll say it one more time.
240-719-2560.
Now, we won't be on the air for the next month because, again, we're
Right.
taking
So
a break.
where are we? What's that first month in? Where are
The
we?
first Wednesday will be, that will be August.
August the 7th.
That will be when we come back. So
We're gonna have lots of stories.
we have a lot of
It's gonna be
stuff.
lots of
Yeah, 'cause
kikis.
we have a couple things that's coming
Yes,
up.
I'm gonna be in my. We going to Atlanta, and
Yes,
that's gonna
yes,
be a
yes,
kiki up and down and there. I'm going to Chicago for 2 weeks, and that's gonna be a kiki. I'm
that's
trying
right,
to
that's
decide
right.
if I'm gonna go to Dory at the end of the month, so that might be a kiki too. Oh, and I'm also going to Zebulon's Grotto for the first time.
We'll talk about that.
Okay.
So, anyway, so while we're on hiatus, please tune in because they're going to be running some repeats of the show, I believe.
Yes, and you can also check us on YouTube and SoundCloud
As well.
by searching for Vox Power 373, and also on iTunes.
Ting. So if you want to reach me, you can reach me on Twitter at EpicOnyx1. You can find me on Instagram at IamEpicOnyx. You can also reach me on Facebook by looking or searching for Epic Onyx. And Dominion, how can people reach you?
At Dom Onyx on Twitter and Instagram, Facebook.com/Dom Onyx, and www.domonyx.com.
So listen, it's been a great,
Wonderful.
wonderful time. As
6
always.
months. So because we've
Yeah.
been on since January, since right before, since the 1st of January. Yeah, that was the first show. Yeah.
Jesus. Anyway, listen, we're going to take this break and have some more great stories to tell you. Look forward to some new stuff and
Some
some
shenanigans.
some other additions or changes or whatever, because we have
Yes.
a conversation about us being asked to show up on another YouTube station. So
Oh, really?
Yeah, we'll have a conversation about that. But anyway, listen, as always, thank you all for coming. We love you. Good
Bye.
night. Bye.
Mwah.
Bum bum bubba dum bum 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 bubba dum bum bum bubba dum bum 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 bubba dum bum bum bubba dum bum 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 bubba dum. The party was jumping when Bertha got off of her stump. The whistles were blowing and everybody did the bump. But all the time Bertha had been working on a goodie. Now folks call it the Bertha Butt Boogie.